Thank you, Mr Speaker. I also add my voice of concern and support for the people of the West Coast and the Pike River disaster. I want to pick up on the issue that Carol Beaumont talked about in terms of equality and what she describes as a disgraceful bill and also promoting what she describes the inherent inequality in employment relationships. Indeed, that's what the object of the Act points out. And many of the stories from the other side about fat cat employers always focus on the extremely large organisations or the high-profile errant companies. You know, notice how when the issue of tax cuts come up, they quote the CEO of Telecom. But what they don't mention are the plumbers, the builders, the start-up IT companies and the small manufacturers negotiating through the worst recession in 80 years, because that's what our economy is made up of, Mr Speaker. Overwhelmingly, it's built on small and medium organisations that bob along in the wake of that recession and are increasingly frustrated by the way the previous Labor government neither understood small business or could get over their animosity towards them through their own sweat and innovation and risk-taking, and who have bettered themselves, their families and their staffs. Because many small business owners tell me they agree about the inherent inequality that is set out in the object of the Act, but many of them think it goes the other way. And they tell me how disappointing it is that the attitude of the Labor Party and their union affiliates at the complete lack of empathy for the backstory. Because it is easy to spew rhetoric that casts employees against employers without ever understanding the backstory. The 100% effort that's put into building a company which would eventually employ staff. The poor diet. The rusty Toyota. Not having time to date. Spending all your weekends working to build the company while your friends are out celebrating and partying. Being effectively married to that small business. They put their time and their money and their lives into that business in the hope that eventually, someday, they, and by association their staff, will be successful. And when the fruits of that effort are seen, the improved opportunities to employ staff and increase their wages, and yes, make profits for themselves, do the Labor Party celebrate the fruits of that effort? No. Envy. Fat cat comments, higher taxes, more red tape and more envy. What they describe as a disgraceful bill, I describe as common sense, balanced, flexible improvements to our labour laws, and I strongly support them.
The debate now being concluded, I'll put the question, and the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National,
58 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour,
41 votes opposed.
Green Party,
9 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand,
5 votes in favour.
Māori Party,
5 votes opposed.
Progressive,
1 vote opposed.
United Future,
1 vote in favour.
Honourable Chris Carter.
The ayes are 64, the noes are 56. The motion is agreed to.
Employment Relations Amendment Bill number 2, third reading.
Call on Government Order of the Day number 2.